Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and we're about to embark on another mission of exploring hands that I played yesterday on the 25NL Triple Eight Snap Poker Streets. Please don't forget to hit like on the video if you don't mind ever so much. Leave a comment if you'd be ever so kind. If you are a subscriber and you don't get email notifications, do just check with the subscriber bell. Make sure that you're getting the notifications. I don't monetize any of this. I'd like my videos to get more views. So yeah, I say all them things to hopefully help them get a few more views. Yeah, so let's get stuck in with it. Let's get stuck in with what we're doing. You should already be familiar with this format by now. If you're not, I would recommend going back and watching all the other videos I've done. That start with the title from shit reg to decent reg question mark, because hopefully you'll see the improvement I'm making too, from like where we were at the start to where we're getting to and where we eventually hope to actually arrive at. I actually remember this hand. I think I do anyway, and I don't think it's a GTO spot. No, it's not. So we're not going to be able to review this one in GTO. It was a good start to the video, Reg, you cretin. But I think it's interesting. I posted this onto the Discord. By the way, if you're not in the Discord, I do recommend joining. It's getting busier and busier, mostly just hand reviews. There's not a great deal of social interaction yet, which is a shame because I think that's part of the joy to being in some Discord communities, is the fact you just chat about other shit too, as well as poker. But there's hands being posted daily now for discussion, and there's plenty of people contributed. So if you haven't joined the Discord yet, and you used to be a member of the Facebook group, you're wondering where the Facebook group's gone. I've archived the Facebook group. I'm no longer on Facebook as an individual entity. I'm not on there anymore. It's a fucking sewer full of assholes sharing passive aggressive memes, slagging off someone they haven't got the balls to actually slag off, slagging off colleagues, etc. But they haven't got the balls to slag them off to the face, so they just find the most fucking appropriate meme and post that and fuck off, you assholes. Anyways, forgetting that. Yeah, we're not on Facebook anymore. So if you used to be in the Facebook group and you're wondering where it's gone, it's been archived. But do come and join the Discord. The link is beneath the video. If you're watching this video 3 or 4 months after it's been made and you still want to join the Discord, search for one of my more recent videos and there'll be more recent Discord links underneath those. Let's crack on. Yeah, this isn't a GTO spot. So we flop a. I think this flat's fine on the bottom, by the way, if we're not going to get squeezed. It might not be fine, but fuck it. 6-7 suited in it, I'm doing it. But I think it's probably fine anyway, in theory. We can't fold here, for obvious reasons. We're not going to do this one too much. Turn check, check. And my question here wasn't necessarily do we bluff here. I just stab here because I think Villain 41 with the fish in the pot. Oh, excuse me. When Villain 41's got a fish in the pot, he's not checking a good hand here. He's just not. He just isn't checking a good hand here with this guy in the pot. So he's capped his tits off, basically. This guy now folds. He calls, but I was like, right, okay, when you've got kings, queens, jacks, tens, that type of thing, nines. 9 on the river, so let's hope he doesn't have nines. Check. And then my question was, do we turn our pair into a bluff on the river here? And it's a rhetorical question because I think we would, for me, it's a mandatory river bluff. Yep. Jack 10's got there that villain could conceivably play this way. Pocket 9's that villain could conceivably play this way. But I still think his range is primarily loaded with like maybe the occasional bit of like weaker ace-x that also isn't folding. But kings, queens, jacks, tens, etc. I think it's loaded with those hands. I think we have a mandatory bluff, but I could be wrong. We did go for it. We didn't get a call, and I felt fucking magnificent. On to the next one. Jack 9 suited. Reg opens the button. This guy is orange tagged just because he's like not really meeting the steel frequencies and he's not really 3-betting enough, but he's close to yellow, but he's orange. See, look at this guy. We get him some benefits here. This guy can definitely go to yellow, albeit small sample, but he's 25-24. He's finding 3 bets over this small sample, and he's also like stealing, maybe even wider than he should. So yeah, he shouldn't be yellow. Anyway, we're not here to tag players. We are going to call here, I imagine. We flop a pair and a straight draw. We check. Villain bets quite big. I think we just call here. Our hand isn't weak enough to want to semi-bluff with, and it's not strong enough to want to value raise with. Call. Turn a straight. Maybe we start donking here. I think Villain's going to check this back a lot when he doesn't have a straight himself. He's going to check back 2 pairs. He's going to check back sets. He's going to check back over pairs. I think we just have a donk here, actually. I think maybe we donk bigger. We're saying we got a straight. When we're saying we got a straight, we don't bet this size. So I don't like this. If we're going to donk bigger edge. This is shit. This is really shit. I'm not happy with this. Villain calls. River, backdoor diamonds come in. We block again. Not happy with this. Not happy. Think we donk bigger turn and we maybe check this river. Yeah, this is shit. Villain raises, and I'm just completely in the fucking muck. Got myself into a real pickle, and I just folded. And that, I think, like flop, pre-flop, flop, fine, turn lead, I'm on board with, but not for that size. And after that, it's just a fucking mess, isn't it? Basically. Unsurprisingly, we're getting a wrong move for this, and I'm not at all surprised. The wrong move did come on the river, although we do get an inaccuracy on the turn as well. Flop, check. It does a little bit of raising, but not very much. Call. Turn. It just wants pure check. I didn't think that. Didn't think it'd want pure check. Food for thought for me. Didn't think it would want pure check there. Didn't think it'd want Villain to like check back sets, 2 pairs, etc. Maybe no, because Villain has to call. We sets 2 pairs, flush draws. He has to call. I don't understand that. So we're gonna. What is Villain theoretically doing versus bet that? Or is it just like a procedural thing? I don't know. We bet the turn. Villain is folding 49%. So we are folding out half of his range when we bet even for this size. Still calling with all these hands. Still calling with sets. 2 pairs. In fact, he's 3-betting sets sometimes. He's 3-betting 2 pairs. So he's raising sets sometimes, raising 2 pairs sometimes. He's never folding top pair. He's not folding second pair very often. But so when we check. Oh, hang on. Butchering this, I think, am I? Oh, turn when we check. His betting range isn't that fucking wide. He's checking back a lot. And when he is betting, he's over betting. Which are mostly just straights. Some sets are over betting. And we're preventing him from bluffing. I guess that's what it is. There's plenty of bluffs in his range here that we're preventing him from doing by leading. So I understand now. They're meant to do quite a lot of bluffing here. Let's have a look what they're meant to be doing quite a lot of bluffing with. 5-4 suited. Not in the games I play. Just no. These are all going to be diamonds, aren't they? You can't see it's off screen, but yeah. So in no made hands. I don't. The diamonds, yeah, I'll give them that. They are going to overbet the diamond draws sometimes. These are the king highs. King high flushes are going to overbet, whereas when I just bet blocks, I'm just going to call probably. They're going to be ace high flushes too, aren't they? Ace high flushes are betting. Apparently, he's turning threes and deuces into a bluff with overbets. Not convinced about that. He's now bluffing with, starting to have the flush draws in that king 8 and queen 8 of diamonds. And again, some more like pair plus flush draw, and then some offsuit stuff as well. So I can see the merit in checking there because they are going to have when they bet, they're going to use overbet, which I guess is why it wants to check. So if we're wanting to check here because villain's going to overbet quite a lot, guess my question now is in the games I play, how often are villains overbet bluffing this turn? I don't know the answer to that question. Some will be doing it at a decent frequency, others won't be. So I guess this is going to be like read dependent. I guess when we're in these spots in future, I think I'm up against a talented reg or a decent reg who's going to find some overbets with bluffs, then maybe check. And against the more passive, more docile regs, ignore what this is saying and just bet ourselves. Think that's, yeah, I like that. On to the next one. Jack 10 of green. Small blind, button opens. We have an unknown but potential fish in the big blind playing 30-0. Again, I think this is going to mix some flats in here. Well, I know I'm going to go with 3-bet now, but I think this just mix some flats in. But we'll find out. We 3-bet, villain calls. We flop second pair. I don't know what our range is going to want to do on the Jack Queen board. I think this particular hand we've got here wants to bet. Wants to check, sorry. But whether range, I don't know how much range is betting here. We're going to find that out. We do check. Villain checks back. Turn is a 5. I think we still continue checking. Villain now bets pretty big. I think as played we can't do anything but call. River is a 5. We check. Villain now bets 1/3. And I think versus this price we have a very unhappy call. Versus this size. Villain had King Queen. So I was happy with my line, if not the outcome of that hand, and turns out GTO was happy with it too. Yeah, there is some calling in the small blind. Look, 34% of the time we can flat this. I'm going to start mixing a lot more flats in my small blind range when we don't have aggro regs in the big. Not going to do it very often with aggro regs in the big blind, but I'm definitely looking to start to find way more of these small blind flats because they're definitely a thing. We do go with the 3-bet here. Calls, flop, check. Now, I did ask the question how much our range wants to bet on this flop. So we're range checking 56% of the time here, and when we are betting, yeah, it's mixing between all sizes, isn't it? So nothing much to learn from like sizing thing there. Our hand here wants to check 45% specifically versus a range check of 56% or whatever it was. We do check, Bill checks back. We continue checking here, but we do start having some leads. Check again. Some bets. Pure call. Check again. And there is some folding on this river. Actually, calling is a 2-tick option, but it loses money. Right, clever people. Which probably, if you're watching this video, it probably isn't you. No, it's not you either. But if there is anyone clever watching this, can you tell me why the 2-tick option here is call when it's fucking hemorrhaging EV? You're like, why is a losing call the optimal line? If somebody clever could educate me on this, that would be spiffing. Thank you very much. On to the next one. 10 Jack offsuit. We are opening to 2.2. And everyone's folding. Okay, that's clearly been a misclick on my part. What a thoroughly well played hand. Small blind opens kings, big blind calls, 9-8 Jack. Pretty sure I'm pure checking this. Villain bets 4 blinds. Do we start building raises? Don't think so on this board texture. I think it's a bad board texture to start check raising on. Villain can just have a lot of better hands. The board can change dramatically. Any diamond, although not terrible, we have the king of diamonds, so a diamond wouldn't be the worst card in the deck. But like a 10, queen, a repeat jack. But yeah, it's just a bad board. We do not want to be check raising this hand, I don't think. Very confident this is just a check call. I think I'm getting 2 ticks for this decision. Turn 4, check again. Bill and bets this size, just calling again. Very confident with my 2 ticks here. Ace river, check. Bill and checks back. Yeah, I think we're going to get 2 ticks the whole way there. But let's see. As expected, 2 ticks the whole way. Excuse me. And I think for anyone watching this video who's like a losing player or not doing very well, I think this sort of hand is really important for you to like pay attention to and like get a little bit of something from. On this flop, it's super scary. It's so easy as a fun player, recreational player, someone who isn't used to winning, to look at this board and be like, shit, all those draws out there, we need to start betting. Bet really big, deny equity. Problem is, we don't deny equity. If he's got a hand with decent equity, he's just never fucking folding it. Sometimes they're raising it. I think like I don't know if heuristic's the right word, but I'm going to use it anyway because it makes you look like a clever cunt. I think like the heuristic here is like we're not looking to build a big pot out of position with these 2 kings. Yeah, it stinks if we end up losing the pot because we let him get there with a hand that may have folded to a bet, and then you're kicking yourself. Oh, no, we should have bet that flop. Proper old school, like frankly, fish logic that we've all fucking thought process we've all had. And this board's scary. I want to like bet now. Ideally, I want the hand to end. I want him to just fold. Then I'm not facing any tough decisions on later streets. All the shitty, fishy mindset that you have. Get rid of it. This is not a board where we want to start building a pot out of position. It's probably going to be like a pretty strong range check, I would imagine. Blind versus blind. So on the flop, we are checking 85% of our range here. Look, aces is rarely betting. Probably only betting when it has a diamond in its hand. Kings isn't betting much. Queen's betting a little bit more. Top set's betting a little bit. We have a very, very heavy check strategy here. Even when we have like the nuts, Queen 10 suited, Queen 10 off, a lot of checking going on. You need to become more comfortable. When you've got these strong but vulnerable hands, you need to get a lot more comfortable in just like, fine, sometimes I'm going to take a passive line here, and sometimes I'm going to get sucked out on and lose a small pot. But you need to get comfortable with these spots because these are sort of mistakes that really kill you. When you start building pots here and villain doesn't go away and you get to turns and rivers, the pot's just too big for your hand. So we bet here. Say you're a bit scared and you bet 75% pot. Villain calls. So that's like another 9 bigs. 15 bigs on the turn. And say the turn is whatever this one was. So we get to this turn. There's now, exactly what there is in here almost. 14 or 15 bigs. And you're like, shit, I need to keep betting. Because, like, nothing's really improved here. And, I still need to bet. Got to protect against flush draws. Got to protect against straight draws. Got to get value from Jack X, etc. So we go again. We bet 10 blinds. And villain calls again, say, for example. And then we get to this river. And all of a sudden, you're like, shit, there's 30 blinds in this pot. And now I don't know what to do. Now I'm fucked. I built too big a pot for my hand. This board was never going to get real good for my hand. We needed like runner boat for us to be like really comfortable and really confident that we have the best hand. So we just don't want to build big pots when you're on a flop, and there are a lot of like pretty uncomfortable runouts for your hand where the board can just go really bad for your hand, and your hand doesn't have a load of ways to improve. Having a very heavy check policy both in and out of position is going to be a lot more sensible than perhaps quite a lot of you think and are actually executing on. This is something I've only learned recently. I've kind of like instinctively known it for a while, but I've actually, since I started doing this study and watching content, we just like when you've got the overpairs on these super coordinated boards, you need to play very, very quietly and not look to put a lot of money in the pot, especially on the earlier streets. So yeah, let's move on. It's queen suited. We open cut off. We get called by a fish in the big blind who needs tagging as such. Says me tagging in game. This guy can remain untagged by now because he hasn't got much of an effect for the time. He can can go yellow for the time being, but very unlikely to stay that way. Anyways, flop top pair in position against the fish. He checks. I think probably like bet 1/3 here, but against a fish, I wouldn't hate myself for like going 2/3 or 75%. We do end up going 1/3. Villain calls 5 on the turn. Theoretically better for villain's range than it is ours. Theoretically, we should probably be doing quite a lot of checking here. Against a fish, I think we can just keep betting though. I do check back this time. Jack River, fish bets 1/3 pot, and I think versus 1/3 we just have a raise here. I think calling's just too weak. Hope I don't call. Please don't call. Please don't call. I did raise. Villain called, and he had ace 9. So we've got an inaccuracy here somewhere. The accuracy is on the river. Maybe our raise size is too small. Call, bet 1/3, 2-tick option, although we can go bigger and even over bet. Turn, check, but we can also bet, and I think against the fish we probably want to weight this more towards betting than we did. River Jack, he bets. It wants raises, but it wants bigger. So yeah, we're on the right track with the raise. Happy I found the raise. Didn't find the right size. Not going to lose a lot of sleep over that. Happy that I played the hand quite well. Ace King off. We raise under the gun. We get a flat call from the button. I don't mind here. Check bet. We've got 2 overs. We've got guts and nut shot. I don't really mind what we do here, to be honest. I have no real preference. We do go with bet this time. On calls. Turn top pair. After betting flop, what do we do on this turn? We turn top pair. We're going to be learning here because I don't know, frankly. Genuinely don't know. Big bet doesn't feel right. Check doesn't feel right. I guess just block again, but I don't know. We do go with check. Villain checks back. Villain's an 8. Now we have a pretty easy, comfortable bet. We go with like 75%. Villain min raises. And we fold. Right, we butchered one. We butchered one, boys and girls. Only inaccuracy. We haven't got a wrong move, so it means it doesn't hit the river. Maybe. Raise obviously pre. Fine. And he's got a shit stack depth, so I'm surprised it hasn't bothered me for that. Yeah, mostly checking here. In fact, not mostly, just pure checking. Shut up, Reg. We do go with 1/3, which is unfortunate. As played, blocking turn is the best line, but bearing in mind we shouldn't have bet the flop, so it doesn't make this good. We end up checking, and checks back. River, we bet too big. We should like block this river, and then it does want to fold the river at least. At least he wants to fold the river. Did he make it that size on the river? Am I seeing things? Oh yeah, did he? He did 3. I thought for some reason I thought he min. Did I say min raised in game? He didn't min raise, did he? He made it bigger than min. So not as bad as I thought. I'll take that. Not as bad as I thought. I just heard my phone vibrate, so I better check to make sure I'm not needed for work a little bit earlier. It's just an email, which will not be work related. Here we're in the big blind versus a reg. It's pocket jacks. Button calls. So now we have a mandatory squeeze, which we take. Queen high flop. Are we still rage betting here? Because at the moment I'm like thinking I mostly want to be like big betting and checking these dry boards. think I'm probably going to default to check here, but I'm interested to see on this dry board how we're supposed to range bet jacks. I'm interested. Check, check. Turn ace. Nah, check. Fold. Yeah, so okay, that's just like, do we still range bet that flop with our underpairs? Two ticks, so it turns out we don't range bet that flop with our underpairs, or if we do, we don't do it at a very high frequency. We check 53%, so there is some betting. Just about half the time we are betting here. Our particular hand doesn't, it does bet sometimes. When it does bet, it bets like, okay, so it's definitely a mix. Because I wouldn't mix here, I would just pure check. I don't use an RNG. Well, I do pre-flop sometimes, but post-flop I don't because I don't know the frequencies well enough. So there's no point having an RNG, and I don't want to guess those things because what's the point? You know, I would maybe I guess it. Maybe I'm like, oh well, maybe I rage bet this fucking 33%, and I'm wrong on that. What's that global checking frequency here? Because obviously this hand's checking 53%. What does range want to do here on this board? We are range betting more often. We're like range betting 70% of the time. So maybe for me, it's just better to do that instead of like, oh shit, think about mixing. Better to overdo the range betting here than to overdo the checking when we've got jacks on like a queen high flop. I wonder if we change that to a king of diamonds, if it changes much in terms of our frequencies. Yeah, we're never checking the king high flop. So on king high boards, we're just range betting. Queen high flops, we're range betting, but like mixing it more. I've got the terminology a bit wrong there, but yeah, all that makes sense to me. Happy with that. Move along. Ace is finally a proper hand. We open, we get called by cutoff. Who's absolutely massive. I'm almost tempted to fucking name and shame this guy. 604 hands to play 14/7. Now, this is the type of player, I'm assuming a lot of my viewers also watch Easty. Now, as we all know, I've got like a bit of a love-hate relationship with him. Not as we all know, but some of you might know. I've got a love-hate relationship with that guy. I love watching his content because when he's like being a real child and like just ranting and tilting, I find it very amusing. He's someone I wouldn't be friends with, I think, but I also really enjoy watching his content. So it's hard to be like really dislike him. But yeah, anyways, we're not getting into that. But the point is, he gets really, really angry at these people, and this is one emotion I don't share with him. I understand how you get angry at poker and you rant, but why get angry at these people? Fine, he's pathetic. He is a complete fucking mess. He probably shouldn't be playing fucking poker, but he's doing no harm. He's just sat there doing now, and you see him ranting about these people. He's 14/7s, and he's like 16/5s and what. And he's like fucking like really like you could tell he actually despises them. You know, it's not an act. It's not a shtick. He fucking despises every fibre of their fucking being. And to me, it's like, whatever, mate. You're just there. You're an empty seat. I'd rather you than him be in the game. I'd rather be a bunch of 14/7s and some fish than like better eggs. I just don't get it. Yeah, this guy is pathetic, but he's doing no harm, so no point getting cross at him. Anyways, especially this like egregious nit. I think we're probably meant to be checking this ball quite high frequency, but do we really want to check to this guy? Probably not. But I do anyway. He bets large. Can we check raise here? 6-4 dry. I think we probably can. Whether I do or not against big. I think maybe if he'd bet smaller, we'd check raise against this size. Probably just call. Nah, shit, I do go for the raise. To my credit, I go with a small one, but I think versus large, we're just not going to raise here very often. He calls turn brick. I guess I'm going to see myself go 75% here. No, we end up downsizing to half. I'm doing some weird shit in this hand. He calls again. River largely a break, and we're just all in because he's got 32 big blinds, and he finds a fold. So I think theory's not going to like that. I think in practice I do like it. Maybe bet slightly bigger on the turn after he calls a flop check raise. So maybe slightly bigger bet on the turn. Maybe a slightly bigger raise on the flop. Maybe a slightly bigger bet on the turn. But I like my line. But I think theory's going to hate it. Yeah, so it doesn't like the stack depth here, but whatever. I don't care about that. Flop we are checking half the time and we are over betting. Ooh, over betting. I like that. I like that. Makes a lot of sense too, because they're going to have like a lot of hands that are going to want to continue here. Pocket pairs, overs and backdoors, etc. Yeah, I like it. Never thought of it, but I like it. Check, bet. We are raising. He wants bigger. Turn. He wants over bet. Yeah, fair enough. And then river. Yeah, we're all in. So yeah, just a sizing issue. It liked the line I was taking enough. Just didn't like the sizing I was using. I could take that. I can live with that. King 8 suited. We have a button open. I think we can probably 3-bet this sometimes, whether I'm going to or not. Villain's only 42% from the button. So if we're going to, this is going to be the guy we're going to want to do it against, who's like finding like proper raise first in. Why just guy orange? He's like got good raise first in numbers from every position, but he's only coming out at 1917. Probably because he's not quite 3-betting enough. This guy probably deserves to be yellow, I think. Maybe just that 3-bet stat just precludes him from being yellow. Anyway, never mind. We do go with a 3-bet here. Interested to see how often we do that. I know it's probably in there. Maybe not this exact combo, but like King 5 or King 6 or whatever. There's going to be some suited King X in there. Maybe I chose the wrong booking kicker. And if I have chosen the wrong kicker, if somebody could explain why King 5, maybe I know why King 5 is better than King 8, because King 5 blocks like Ace 5 suited bluffs. So I know why King 5 suited is better. But if King 6 is there, but King 8 isn't, I'm interested to know why. And I won't understand why. Anyway, we completely brick the flop. And I guess this hand's going to want to do a lot of checking here. I think Rage is going to mix between check and bet, probably slightly favouring bet. We do check, will and bets, but I guess we just fold here right now. We've got nothing going on. Let's have a look at that one. So we've got an existing GTO spot, which means I've 3-bet combo I shouldn't 3-bet. Yeah, just calling, never raising. So no point looking at the rest of the hand. Just reacquaint ourselves with that big blind 3-bet. No, right, shut up a minute. Right, get off. Just shut up. Go away. Go away. Let's just do things like all I want to look at is this. So a lot of our King X is just flatting here. That's why. I thought some of it was 3-betting. Is it blind versus blind? It's 3-betting. No. I've just got some old school logic in my head, I guess. Yeah, that's bad. That's a pretty big error. Maybe I just got it feels like I've got my positions mixed up here because the King 8, King 7, and King 6 are finding the 3-bets from the small blind. Yeah, my wiring's been fucked on it. I knew I'd found it somewhere. I knew that King 8 suited was 3-betting somewhere. I just had my wires crossed and I've been doing it from the wrong street. Wah, wah. Never mind. Move along, Reg. Move along. Nothing to see here. Stop 3-betting booking hands that you shouldn't 3-bet. Very nitty cut off open. Relatively tight reg 3-betting button. His button 3-bet percentage is 3-bet versus cut-off open from the button, just 7%, so he's not overdoing it by any stretch. So this range is tighter than it should be by quite a margin. For example, here, when cut-off opens, button should be finding 12% 3-bet. He's only finding 7. That's significant. It's very significant. So how that affects how often we 4-bet this hand or not, I don't fucking know. But I'm about to do it anyway. And he calls when we get a king eye board, and it's going to be quite simple from here. I guess we just range bet. Very small, like probably quarter pot. Maybe he likes even smaller. Villain calls, turn complete break. I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue for 1/3, I imagine. Villain calls, and I'm going to shove the river. And villain folds. So I'm happy with my line there. Be very surprised if I get any fuck ups, but let's just double check. So apparently we have a non-existent GTO spot again. When the fuck is this become non-existent? Is it just wanting us to shove the turn? Because it's like rivers. It's like not interested in my river play. Called 4-bet. Call. It's just wanting half pot on the flop. Wow. So probably gets a cold 4-bet. This range is just so much stronger. It's a cold 4-bet. This just wants us to be all in on the turn, doesn't it? I think. What is our cold 4-bet range here? So we got cut off raise 2.3, button there, big blind, cold 4ing. Sorry, what's our range here for cold 4ing? Which is good stuff, isn't it? And then the king eye board. He just wants to fucking blasty. Fair enough. So in cold 4-bet pots, don't dick around as much with the tiny bets, I guess. We just have a far stronger range because it's a cold 4-bet, not a 4-bet. Not like a normal 4-bet. Okie dokie. Happy days. We move along. Here's king again. Open 3-bet, all very standard. Cold call from the small blind. This is going to be not a thing in GTO, I would imagine. Check. This guy only forced 32% of C-bets. So I'm not going to want to C-bet versus this guy. Whether Theory's going to want to or not, I suspect maybe not as well. So I do fucking C-bet. What an absolute wanker. He calls. I don't like this. I really do not like this, but maybe Theory does. Maybe this is something that Theory likes doing, and I just feel uncomfortable with, but it's something I've started doing, or maybe it's just dog shit. Anyway, we turn an ace, so now I love it. Check. No idea now, though, because we've big bet flop with nothing, and ace has come. So all of a sudden, now do I like... big bets on the flop are going to be aces, probably kings, ace, queen, queens, etc. Only kings doesn't really want to continue betting. So I think we probably just continue betting with this combo, which I did do. I decided to go small, and he folded. No idea what Theory is going to think about that. No idea what I think about that either, to be honest. Doesn't matter, it's a non-existent GTO spot, so I've got time to do one more hand, so let's not waste any more time on that one, and we shall get to it. King Jack suited. Kind of unknown player opens. We just flat out the big blind. Flop a good shot straight flush draw. Check. Bet. I guess there's going to be some raising here, some calling, never folding. So this is going to mix, and I don't know what the frequency is. So I'm just not going to even pretend to guess. I'm not going to try and guess. As for sizing, if we are raising, maybe raise this to like 7x or something. We just called this time, but interesting if we do raise, what size Theory wants to go with. Turn check. Villain bets again, 3/4 pot. I think he should be like overbetting or checking here. This doesn't feel like it's a size that wants to be used. I think he's like supposed to just do a lot of checking here. When he bets, he's supposed to just fucking blast. So I already know what I'm thinking here. If in game I'm thinking this size isn't quote unquote a thing, then I'm gonna like get out of line against it because I'm like, well, maybe I'm up against someone who isn't super well studied. So they're likely to, if I think they're making a mistake now, it's likely they might make even bigger mistakes if we put pressure on them. That's the kind of thought process I'd be going through. Not surprised that I do find the raise here. And villain folds. This could be the last hand. Let's see how we did with the aura analysis there. Like, is it a mixed pre? Is it well, probably is a mixed pre actually. Probably there's a tiny bit of three bet, but not a lot. In fact, I'm going to go and say that even if it is, I'm just pure calling versus middle position. Probably not three betting very much at all. Flop, I think, is definitely a mix. Turn, I think I'm maybe a bit out of line, but I'm reacting to his bet size, which I think should be check or over bet. We've captured all my thoughts. Let's see what Theory thinks. Theory thinks I'm an asshole because it's given me the red triangle. And the red triangle is for the turn check raise. So pre-flop, yeah, it's just pure call. Flop, check. Bet. It is a mix. 70-30 in favour of call. Turn. He bets. We're just supposed to call here. So this is where we blundered. But I'm interested to know if he should mostly be playing over bet or check on that turn. Because that's what I think he should be doing. So if I'm wrong, and this is a thing, then it makes my race really fucking bad. Because I'm reacting to what I think is him making like quite a big sizing error. Turn. Hijack strategy should be 50% check. 75%. It's actually got half pot and three quarters pot. So what a fucking enormous blunder I'm making there. Because I just thought that's not a thing. Stop it, mate. Stop it. Stop doing that. I thought overbet or check. But actually, I guess it can't overbet because we just have like plenty of 9x in our range. I guess. So now, how much 9x we have in our big blind calling range? And we have three of a kind trips. We have loads, don't we? Which is probably why it can't overbet. Yeah. Because we have so much 9x in our range. Probably just can't overbet. We also have the full house. Yeah, fair enough. So what is his range for betting the turn for this size? Oops, my phone's ringing. One tick while I pause. Turns out the phone call was work related, and I've now got an extra 20 minutes to continue reviewing hands, which is nice because the young man I'm supporting is not going to be ready to be picked up at 12. He's not going to be ready to be picked up to quarter past. So I've got 15 more minutes to look at more hands. So anyway, we're going to look at what we thought, and not what we think, like what Hijack's betting range looks like on this turn, weren't we? So his betting range is quads, which he doesn't have very often, boats, trips, over pair. Still betting a 10 here. I mean, he doesn't have as much 9x as us, but you know he's still got plenty. I'm just wondering why he only wants to go half pot here. Probably because he's just like deficient in 9x, isn't he? We looked at the 9x we had in our flop calling range. He just doesn't have as much, does he? So that's probably why you can't overbet. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I enjoyed doing that one, even though we butchered it. I enjoyed it. Here's Queen offsuit. Open. 3-bet from small blind. I think maybe just fold. We were up middle position, small blind, 3-bet. Player looks pretty tight. Small sample. Maybe this just fucking folds. If it doesn't, then it 4-bets. I don't think we flat here. Don't think I like flat. And I actually prefer fold. But in fact, no, let's qualify this. If he'd 3-bet to an appropriate size here, which would be probably 10 or 11 bigs, then I like fold. Versus 8 big blinds, I don't think we can fold. I think we need to continue. But I still prefer continuing with the 4-bet, I think, which I don't do. Villain now bets. We've got backdoor nut flush draw, 2 overs. We're not folding. Oh, what the fuck have I done there? Reg, I thought I was just going to call us. Moving on, confidently calling. What have you done there, Reg? Why have you done it? Oh, Reg. Right, I know why I've done it. It's because I think he shouldn't be c-betting 1/3 on this board. So because I don't think he should be c-betting 1/3 on this board, I'm just like shifting a lot of my continues to a raising range. That could be really good. It could be dog shit. I don't know. In the point of view, it looks dog shit. I like the fact we've got 2 overs. I like the fact we've got a backdoor straight draw. And I love the fact we've got the backdoor nut flush draw. So we can also pretend to have flushes on red turns. But again, let me know what you think about, because GTO's not going to help me very much here, I don't think. Because like he's 3-bet pre-flop, but he's used as like a size that's too small. And then I think he's, and I could be wrong, but I think he's like range bet a board that he shouldn't be range betting. So am I right am I on the right track at least to consider shifting my continues to more aggressive lines, and I am just calls here, and just having like more continues, like, well, not having, no, not having more continues. Just when I do continue, because I think he's like using like a bet size that doesn't really exist very much on this flop. If that's true, am I right to shift my continues more to the raising part? I butchered that. It was a lot of words. Soup there. And for all I know, this might be fine from him. So yeah, this whole hand could be a butcher, or it could be fucking genius. Who knows? Turn 7. Building checks. I mean, we should just give up here. We've had a race called and we bricked. We should just give the fuck up here. Which I have done at least. River King. Villain now blocks 1/3. I remember this one. I remember thinking to myself, if I'm ever going to bluff a combo, this has to be it. Our blockers are so fucking good here. We have the nut flush blocker. We block straights. Yeah, but if we're, I mean, my thoughts here were, I don't like this because we've got a nit who's blocking the river, which means he's probably got a value hand, and getting people to fold value hands isn't my idea of fun. But I was thinking, if we're not bluffing this, and we're literally never fucking bluffing, are we? This surely has to be one of the best bluffing combos. So if we're not taking this bluff, what bluffs are we taking? So I basically grabbed my bollocks and I jammed it in his face, and I made peace with it. Unfortunately, it worked, and then I felt like a fucking genius. But let's see, am I genius or am I fucking mental? Probably both. While this analyzes, I've just realised I said I'm probably both. Whether it's genius or mad, it's not. I'm not a genius. It's not probably both. I'm actually a fucking idiot, and we've got another non-existing GTO spot, and that happens pre-flop, so we can't analyse the rest of the hand. And I suspected, it's not even mixing 4-bet. It's just fucking pure folding. Right? Okay. Oh no, sorry, it is mixing. That was on the big blind. I'm a fucking idiot. So it is mixing 4-bet and fold. But we called because of his stack depth. But now, sadly, it means we can't analyse the rest of the hand. But I think we should still just continue with 4-bet or fold. And I think I'm going to be getting the frequencies a bit wrong, because I think I would be 4-betting more than 27% of the time. Next, King Queen of Blue, open. Someone who's got my decent reg tag 3-bets from the small blind. Just calling, I guess. Wow, that's a flop, isn't it? We learn C-bet small. I mean, I guess with this exact combo, there could be some raising. I think range doesn't want to raise here. But I think this exact combo, maybe it's one combo that can raise. Maybe you want the ace-high flushes to raise, ace-high flush draws to raise, though. And we did just call. Turn 3, brilliant checks. I think we have a mandatory bluff here. No, mandatory's not right, but I think we have an optional bluff that we should be taking at a pretty high frequency. We do bet half pot. I think that's too big. I think we could just bet 1/3 here. Brilliant calls. River brick. Brilliant checks. And I think I have to bluff this river. I just have to bluff it. And I don't. That's shit. I think we have to bluff that river. We should have bet 1/3 on the turn. If I bet 1/3 on the turn, I'd have been more confident bluffing the river. For some reason, I decided to bet half. I don't like that. Turn should be 1/3, I think. And maybe it just never works against that hand. But let's see what Theory thinks there. So we think we're checking like just a call pre, which I'm very confident it is. We're checking that we maybe sometimes raise flop, but not very often. And then we're checking turn. I think we should probably range bet. Not bet one. Not range bet. Bet 1/3 rather than bet half. Oh dear, we have a red circle. River. Yeah, because we have to jam it. Bottled it. I bottled it. The rest's fine. We can already see all the ticks, but I bottled the river shove. Yeah, we can have some raises here, but not very often. Turn. It actually likes half pot best. I thought it maybe would have preferred this, but so we played it perfectly. Then we just forgot to fucking jam the river. And I didn't forget. I just bottled it. It's saying the Surrey V in check, but I think that's highly unlikely. But it's highly V to go all in. So at least our check theoretically isn't losing money apparently, or that isn't neutral. It's making the check's making money, but I don't know that it is. Maybe it is. Maybe there's some like King 10 in there. We're making money from. I don't know. Don't bottle the river though, Reg. I've not been bottling these spots anywhere near as much lately. I've just been taking them like, right, okay, let's go. We've got a bluff, so let's just do it and get on with it. But for some reason there I didn't. I bottled it. Opening ace-5 suited. Getting the call. We've got a very wide small blind opening range. Then we're going to mix here. I think there's all options on the table. I think we'd check 1/3 because we've got two pairs, maybe some bigger. I don't know which is best. I will be check this time. We went 1/3. We raised, which I think is fine. We called. Turn 4. We barreled 3/4 pot, which seems standard to me. One calls. River, absolutely diabolical card. We check. Villain bets and we folded. I'm happy with how I played that hand. Let's see if Theory's happy with how I played it. Oops, we got another red circle. River. What, just to put money in on the river? Okay. Check. Yeah, there's mix in between overbet and 1/3, but it does bet heavily favouring overbet. Just wants to call, doesn't want raise. He does want raise, just doesn't want our size. Actually, that's a lie. He wants to call. He wants raise more than all in. Fucking hell, that's sexy, isn't it? Yeah, just go all in for like 9x pot. Fucking hell, that is sexy. I like it. I love that. It's what an overbet and pot. So yeah, when we check raise, don't use my size basically. We guess we're polarizing and then we're just not using a polar size. So stop being shit there, Reg. As played, bet 3/4 pot on the turn. It likes that. And river, it wants check. And then he wants call. And no. Quite frankly, no. This is like, I don't exactly know how much of a big loss this is. Is it saying we're losing 100 bigs, 100? I don't understand how this transfers to big blinds per 100. I just know 1.09 isn't. I put it this way, I've made far bigger blunders. I don't think this is a blunder. I'm not having it. I think this versus population. I think this fold is completely fine, and the fact that it's saying it's relatively close is just fine by me. Right, let's do one more hand, and let's have a little vape whilst we're doing it. Ace and the jack of suit. We open button. Big blind, 3 bets. It's a pretty aggressive big blind. Ace jack off. I don't know, frankly. I think in the games I normally play, where we're not dealing with regs playing 22, 2011, who are 3 betting, although the sample size is going to be pathetic, so maybe I'm wasting my time here. 3 betting 18% so far versus button opens. I feel like we need to continue this hand against this player type. Maybe we don't know, but in my normal games where people are only hitting like 6 and 7% 3 bet here from the big blind versus button, I'm usually happy just folding this hand. So this is not a usual spot for me. Let's see what I do. I elect a 4 bet. That could be diabolical. Again, ace high flop. I think we can do fair amount of checking back here, or just betting very small. I'll go with small. Million folds, but I think I'm surprised if that checks back a lot there. So the part I was most interested in this hand is our response to the pre-flop 3 bet with a hand like ace jack offsuit, and it turns out we're getting a tick. But what is our favoured response pre? It actually is like preferring 4 bet over the other two, so I'm happy I found that. Very happy I found that. It doesn't hit folding still, so against our tighter opponents in this pool, maybe just lean towards folding ace jack a lot more. And probably not 4 betting it as much. And then as played on the flop, I was suspecting it might want some checks. It does, but almost never. It wants even smaller bets. It wants the tiniest of tiny bets. It wants a little 10% in the 4 bet pot here. So yeah, happy days. Right, I need to run now. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing at least one of those things, if not all of them. If you are a subscriber and you haven't hit the little notification bell yet to give you alerts when I upload, please consider doing that. But I'm out of here now. There's a good chance there's going to be some weekend videos because tomorrow morning I'm free for an hour or so. There's a good chance I'm going to play quite a lot of Snap again today, and there's a good chance we're going to have some more content to analyse. So there's a good chance there might be a Saturday and a Sunday video this week. Can't promise, but there's a good chance there might be. But we're leaving it there. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye for now.